Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're playing Knights of Pen and Paper 2, which is a critically acclaimed turn-based retro-style pixel art adventure that simulates the classic pen and paper role-playing experience. Before we get started, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by the publishers of Knights of Pen and Paper 2, and I'll be leaving a download link in the description below, so make sure to check it out. It's totally free on iOS and Android, but if you want to play it on PC, it's also available on Steam for $7.99. So I've put about 10 to 15 hours in this game over the past couple of days, so that just goes to show it is very addicting, and that's no exaggeration, especially if you're a fan of either turn-based RPGs or pen and paper style games. So as you can see, across from our 5 players here, we have the Dungeon Master. He is responsible for bringing us on our adventure. He's the storyteller. He is kind of what brings the whole thing together. He takes us to a lot of different places, describes the scenery, describes what's going on. So with a little introduction out of the way there, let's get into some gameplay here. I'll try and explain the sort of mechanics as we go along. For now, we're just focusing on this gold exclamation mark here. This indicates a new quest, or a finished quest in this case, since it's golden. You guys don't have any context yet because I'm kind of in the middle of this, so let's start with a fresh quest here. But after you're done with the quest, you do get some XP to level up your players. Going to the Dungeon Master and tapping on the map icon, you can see here's the map. Those with an exclamation point over them indicate that there is a quest there. We also have the daily dungeon, which we haven't done yet, and I actually want to do that first because I want to... Okay, well, here you got to see a bit of the pen and paper reference from that die roll there. We failed that, and so we got ambushed. Thankfully, this is a very weak enemy, so we're just going to normal attack it. All of these guys have their own unique skills and everything, but I'm not going to waste any energy on that, so let's go ahead. Alright, so I find the dungeons to be very fun, although quite difficult as well, because once you start a dungeon, you can't stop to rest and heal or anything. You can only use your items. So when you tap on the Dungeon Master and go to the dungeon icon, you can see the map here. So you have 3 options to go, and in each new area, the Dungeon Master will tell you something. For example, this place is being redecorated. A group of monsters are bashing and breaking containers of various sorts here, trying to find anything valuable. Suddenly, they notice you and attack. So this is a enemy floor. Sometimes it's not, sometimes you actually get things, but we can see a little bit more about the gameplay here. So I have a thief here with his thief skills, also a cheerleader and an elf. So it's pretty funny the combinations you can come up with, and of course that also changes their skills. So you can have a pretty big variety. I'll also explain my team a little bit later and why I chose to go with what I did. But for now, let's try and pull this back guy to the front. So, okay. He resisted the body roll, unfortunately, so he's staying back there for now. I raised this skill quite a bit, so it attacks up to 5 enemies, doing some decent damage to all of them. We are taking a lot of damage. This is a pretty hard dungeon. We also have a healer here, going to heal up this guy. He's pretty low. And he has a passive that actually gives everyone energy as well, so that's cool. So the Paladin in the middle here, he is my tank and DPS. I know that's kind of weird, but he just has such a high threat level, so most of the time the enemies are gonna strictly attack him, but he also has very good weapons, which gives him a high threat level, so he does good damage as well. We're gonna try and pull this guy to the front again, see if we can do it. We did do it. Nice. So that means with our mage now, this guy, we can attack all 3, because he only attacks them in a row. So now that we pulled him to the front, we can attack all of them. With our elf here, we're gonna go for a decoy, so in case he does get hit, he won't take any damage. And hopefully our healer's turn. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna heal himself actually, because he is actually the most damaged. And we're gonna continue. We're gonna actually, ooh, that was super effective. That did a ton of damage. So hopefully next time, you know, when it's my mage's turn again, he can kind of just wipe them all out, except for that D there, perhaps. Let's try it. Okay, yeah, just the D. I'm gonna normal attack him once or twice, and that should do it. What? 64? Come on, healer. I should have probably just healed. So you got to see some pretty basic gameplay here, and once you're done with whatever's on that floor, you can move on and choose another room, of course. So now in this room, there is a horseshoe and a pile of shiny gems. As you pick up the biggest gem, the horseshoe starts to look strangely attractive, but you can't quite tell why. And on this floor, we got pretty lucky because we just get some items and we don't have to fight anyone, so it's good. You feel a confusion creeping on you, and now we have to roll, and whoever misses, which is everyone, except my mage, gets hurt quite a bit. Ouch. You can use items in the dungeon, of course, but we don't really have that many. On the wall of this chamber, you see a beautiful tapestry of Big Town in all of its glory. Surprisingly, you notice that the picture updates every 5 seconds. So some floors just have a little story there, but nothing really happens. You don't get any items, you just move on to the next one. I personally like to clear all the dungeon floors, so I'm gonna go to like every one because there could be some good items or some gold or something, which is very useful. You're nearly blinded by the sparkle filling the room. Yeah, we got some more redstones, cool. Here's a big room now. I haven't found any correlation to the size of the room and what happens in there. I think it's just pretty random. What the hell, man? A huge stony nose and it sneezes mucus all over me. Oh, no. And now I have to roll. Boom. That's messed up, man. Oh, and now we have to fight because we moved further into this room. Rage, and I'm enraged. Yeah, there are a lot of status effects as well. When you're enraged, for example, you can only use your normal attack, no skills. And since my cleric is the only one that can remove negative status effects as well as healing, that is very bad to have that on him. Oh, there's more. Ooh, I love these. I've run into this one before. It says you enter a room with items on 4 pedestals. There are clear instructions on the wall that you can only choose one. And then you can choose which one you pick. You can choose a food item, weapon, coins, or the book. I've never chosen the book before. I'm mostly taking the weapon because I just didn't have any at that point. I think the book might just be an accessory that gives you more experience, but we're going to check it out. Yeah, plus 3% EXP, so we know that now. Not gonna choose that again. I need stats in my accessory slots. Well, it's a bit risky since all of our dudes aren't super healthy and we can't rest or anything right now, but we're gonna continue on with the dungeon. Ooh, a small chest and it's left unlocked. 330 gold, nice. What? I've never read this one before. On the floor of this room, you see a very flat skeleton wearing a fedora and gripping a whip. Suddenly, a huge boulder drops from the ceiling and starts to roll towards you. Oh no, please, more pass. Oh god. Chunk. Crap. They're not very healthy. Let's go to this big room up here. Oh no, another trap. A troglodyte jumps down and pulls a lever. A trapdoor opens under your feet and you fall down. Oh geez. Oh, they're all missing. My god. They're all almost dead just from traps. This is bad. Now we're moving further into the room and we see something glimmering deep within. Something good? Oh no, we have to make a choice now. Let's reach for it. Maybe it's something that can heal me. A glowing blue stone. Okay. Blue stone, energy plus 100, cool. And now we're going further into the room. Sturdy chest, but we cannot find any key. Oh, someone. Is that enough? Oh yes, just one has to pass for that to open. All right, nice. What? No! I thought I was gonna get something cool, but no. Everyone's stunned, and now we have to fight a mimic. That is messed up. So, okay. The only one that's not stunned right now is my wizard. I'm probably going to use an item for him. He has a decent amount of energy, so we're just gonna use the health potion here. Oh man, that's messed up. Just use a thunder on him. Let's do a decoy with my elf. Also, this cheerleader elf thief is my most recent addition, and I didn't realize how awesome this passive cheering is. It might not be as good later on when they have like, you know, thousands of health and such, but right now it's super cool because she's the lowest level right now, which means she can't do a lot anyway. But when I guard, everyone gets 100, up to 100 health and 100 energy. Anyway, let's try and defeat. Ooh, that was super effective. He resisted the weakness, unfortunately. Now we're gonna heal someone. Let's go with my tank DPS here. That's so weird how he can be both, but he does get hit the most. Oh, that's bad. Let's go with the prepared arrow. We can inflict a status effect on him. We got wound, and I'm gonna defend with the cheerleader again because I really... Oh, that's right. When you're wounded, you don't heal. Well, then let's just kill him. Okay, so we can move on. This room is shaped like a downward bent circular tube. It feels like a good idea to walk down the tube. Really? As you look back up, you're greeted by a massive rolling boulder. Again. Okay, okay. Miss. Okay, well that wasn't so bad. Let's move on. We got a small wooden cup filled with what looks like sparkling water. Ooh, I've run into this before. I just hope it's not poisonous this time. Drink. The water has a sweet taste that invites you to drink more and more. After a while no, come on. Oh, I've run into this room before that healed me. This time it took away my energy. Alright, let's go up here to this other double room. The walls of this room are covered with moldy, torn tapestries. Some of the tapestries bulge out weirdly. Suddenly, monsters attack you from behind the the stuff. All right, well, let's see if we can deal with this with all the traps we have been going through of late. All right, well, that wasn't too bad either. Let's hope to run into some good stuff though. Oh, and our mage leveled up, so we can take a look at that. Basically, you get a skill point to spend in one of your skills. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get this one because I haven't even gotten it yet. I've mostly just been focusing on this little AoE here because I just like AoE stuff, but I think it's good to at least have it in case we need stun at one point, which is probably quite helpful actually. They also get full HP and energy, which is nice. So I think we're actually done with this floor completely. We could try and go to level 2, but I highly doubt we're strong enough for this. Let's go ahead and give it a try anyway. So in this room, we have a skeleton wearing a rimmed leather hat, which is holding a purse tightly in its grasp. Apparently we just stole his purse and stole the gold. Well, I kind of automatically assumed that this was an alive skeleton, but typically skeletons aren't. So I guess it's kind of okay. He doesn't really have a need for his gold anyway. At the center of this otherwise empty room, you see a body of a partially eaten humanoid. Very good. No other sort of anything going on there, just, you know, a half-eaten corpse. All good. So in this one, we have a dusty tome, and so we have the option to either inspect it or leave it alone. I've never ever chosen the leave it be option because I'm not boring. Boom, let's see what happens. Oh, okay. As you flip through the arcane pages, the tome suddenly slams shut and emits a corrosive gas. Well, okay. Everyone should miss, because that is my punishment. A wounded troglodyte abandoned by its peers. It is of no threat to you. What do you do? Should we help it? Yes. Oh, it got confused and it is attacking me now. And we're all poisoned. Okay, well, he just got one shot into oblivion. And we get 8 gold and 8 experience. But yeah, besides the dungeon, of course, there are tons of other things. There's usually like a main story. You can see the main story quest by the golden exclamation marks. If we had some side quests, there'd be like some blue exclamation marks, and we could do those as well. There's actually way too much stuff to get into for one single video if I wanted to be like in depth with it. I'm gonna try and be brief about it. So right now we're in one of the main cities. Here we can rest, of course, and heal up everyone's HP and energy. If you want to grind some levels or some gold, depending on where you're at, if you're in a city or if you're in a different city or if you're in some just random area, you can choose different enemies and a different amount of enemies, a different combination of enemies as well, and you can just battle them like that as much as you want to. There's also a tavern system where you can leave certain heroes so you can try out different combinations. Of course, since I only have 5, I'm going to keep them all with me. There's also a shop you can buy things with your saved up coins, the stash where you hold the things you can't hold in your main inventory because of limited space, an investigate function where you can get certain items depending on if you successfully... Let's just go ahead and do that real quick so you can see. We did get 3 successful rolls, which equals 3 clues. So we got this item here. There's also a crafting mechanic and recipes. So if you have this stuff, you can make a lot of different things, either accessories, weapons, consumables, etc, etc. Let's go ahead and start a main quest though. We need to find the Cartographer. We head to the eastern part of the town where his shop is. As you move to the east side, you see fewer and fewer people in the streets, as if this part has been abandoned. Hello adventurers, good to see you're still in one piece. Good to see you too. What happened to your shop? It was looted last week by boosted bandits. Fortunately, I can remember most of my maps by heart. White Sage told us that you can help us retrieve the artifact. Yes, she visited ahead of you and told me everything, but before you can travel to the past, you need a vessel that can travel through time. And a bell tower and lightning? Nothing that glamorous. The only problem is that the vessel and its inventor have gone missing. Last that I heard, he was in the Polyhedron Islands. You should travel there and ask around for the famous troglodyte scientist. Troglodyte scientist? Well, I try not to be prejudiced. So next stop, Polyhedron Islands. Which way? To the west. I added the location to your map. So yes, most of the time you do have to travel to a different area. In this case, it's over here with the exclamation point. Again, traveling does cost some coins, and when you get unlucky and get a 1 roll when you actually only needed a 4, then you have to fight some enemies. So here we are, let's continue. Okay, now what? We're at the Polyhedron Islands. Just a wild guess. Suddenly, an NPC appears and tells us how to get to the next part of the main story. Hello, how are you? Isn't it a nice day? Yes, indeed. It's a fine day, Mrs. Hedronist, I presume. Are you the new apprentices to help my studies of these magnificent islands? Would you just go and write down the properties of these rocks over there? We don't have much time to spend chatting. They're round and heavy. We're actually here to find the troglodyte scientist, and we heard that he came to see you. Round, check. And heavy. Check. Thank you. Yes, troglodyte scientists visited and helped me with some calculations, but then he was ruthlessly abducted. We were sleeping soundly at my base camp and suddenly the sky was full of lights. Tall, thin humanoids came and took my unconscious friend to the flying vessel. The humanoids tied me up, their skin was gray and rubbery. That sounds terrible. How can we find him now? If you're up to finding him, then I suggest you go to the air pirate docks where you can rent or buy a flying ship. Alright, so we're going to the air docks now, which is just right above where we currently are. Ooh, nice. If you get a perfect 20 roll, you usually find something cool. And that was the quest. Most quests do involve fighting, but this one was definitely more story-based. There are also tons of references to a lot of different things throughout the game, mostly relating to like nerd and pop culture and also, of course, the pen and paper genre in general. So if you're into those sort of things, you'll definitely appreciate that. But yeah, as I've been recording here for nearly an hour now, I guess I have to wrap it up, sadly. With that being said, I'm having a lot of fun playing it. And once again, I will be leaving that link in the description below. So make sure to tell me what you think about this video and the game in general in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you did happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated. Thanks, as always, for watching. And until next time.